Hi. There we go.
Hi.
I feel as though I have an echo.
I feel as though I have echo. I feel as though I have.
Welcome back to Teen Book Bites. These short chats about great books are offered the last Monday of each month at 3 o'clock on LAPL, YouTube, and Facebook. The Los Angeles Public Library has Library to Go. You can request books from the catalog to be sent to a library pickup or hub library near you. And to do that, you just go to lapl.org and you go to the catalog. Silence. Let me start over. I apologize. Welcome back to Teen Book Bites. These short chats about great books are offered on the last Monday of each month at 3 o'clock on LAPO YouTube and Facebook page. So the Los Angeles Public Library also has something called Library to Go. So you can request the books from the catalog online at lapl.org, and then you can set it up so that you pick it up at a site near you, whichever one of the library hubs is closest to you. And when you put it on hold, it'll actually ask you which site you want to pick it up from. So if you haven't explored our ebooks or our e-audiobook selections, you should. So download Libby or Overdrive or Hoopla and start checking books out through whatever convenient device suits you. Okay? This month's theme for the Teen Book Bites is body positivity. So each book provides an exploration of someone's life, whether it's real or fictional, which has been impacted by the main character's vision of themselves and how they experience others' reactions to them. Now, I'm putting it this way because that's really the question, isn't it? How we feel others experience us. So we're all flawed. What's really important is how you experience your life, your body. So read some of these books. Learn from the experiences of others. Kamala Harris's mother gave her some great advice. She told her, don't let someone else tell you who you are. You tell them who you are. So we're here to help you choose your next read, so lean back and listen. Our first young adult librarian is Ziba Perez from the Baldwin Hills branch. So she's going to talk about Be Honest by Maggie Ann Martin.
Thank you. Today I'm live from the Palms-Rancho Library to Go Hub. Thanks for having me. I'm going to talk about this book. It's To Be Honest by Maggie Ann Martin. In this book, 17-year-old Savannah lives alone with her weight loss obsessed mother for the first time while her older sister's away at college. Savannah's mother joined a weight loss reality TV show shortly after going through a divorce, and now Savannah is not allowed to bring any processed sugar in the house. Savannah's mom is hoping to create a healthier family norm. But Savannah brings home her first crush that might actually like her back, the new kid in school that needs math tutoring. And he brings pizza in the house. And Savannah cooks chocolate chip cookies in the oven. Her mother comes down the stairs, flips out, creating an embarrassing scene, tossing the chocolate chip cookies from the oven to the trash can, and this is creating an emotionally unhealthy living environment. So find out how Savannah learns to navigate her family dynamics and help her mom create truly healthy habits for the mind, body, and soul. This is a book where the teenager helps the adult realize they have an eating problem and maybe drastically trying to lose weight and force the whole household to obey her strict eating guidelines isn't the best environment for teenagers to grow up in. Thank you.
Thanks, Zeba. Sounds like a predicament that I assume a lot of people find themselves in with all the weird bodies that we see in magazines and on television and expectations and all that. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Zeba.
You're welcome.
Okay. Second book up is going to be presented by Nancy Mattoon from the Wilshire branch, and it's called All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. Hi, Nancy.
Hi. The message on the back cover of George M. Johnson's memoir manifesto is, "Be bold and brave and queer." In All Boys Aren't Blue, Johnson shows how gender, sexuality, and race determine how he has been seen and how he sees the world. Johnson shares his struggle to live safely as a Black, non-binary queer man while yearning to live authentically. He says, "Black folks have always had to wear the mask. It's the inability to be our truest selves. I wore the mask, faking my happiness publicly while crying privately, faking my existence while always wanting to live in my truth. My life story is proof that no amount of money or love or support can protect you from a society intent on killing you for your Blackness." His gender nonconformity and queerness added even more reasons to wear the mask. "I used to daydream a lot as a little boy, but in my daydreams, I was always a girl. I would daydream about having long hair and wearing dresses. And looking back, it wasn't because I thought I was in the wrong body, but because how I acted more girly. I thought a girl was the only thing I could be." Johnson's mask also covered up his most painful childhood memory. At the age of 5, his teeth were kicked in by an older white boy. As he tells it, "Because my baby teeth had been knocked out, my adult teeth grew in extremely early. Adult-sized teeth on a 7-year-old are very odd-looking. My lips became protection for the smile that was stolen. In picture after picture, I refused to smile. There are photos of me at 7, 9, 13, 22, and 29 years old where I refused to smile. For years, I held that traumatic moment inside of me. As I got older, I would get hit on by guys and crack a smile. They would say, 'You have a nice smile.' And my instant reaction was to roll my eyes in disbelief. And I'd even have friends send me messages saying, 'I noticed you don't ever smile.' I would deflect the comments and give some reason that had nothing to do with what I was actually feeling. I still had that 5-year-old in me who was not ready to smile, this queer in me that couldn't fully be." The ultimate goal of Johnson's memoir manifesto is to help a new generation of Black, queer, and gender nonconforming teens be seen and accepted for who they really are. Near the end of All Boys Aren't Blue, he says, "You sometimes don't know you exist until you realize that someone like you has existed before. I want people like me to feel seen. I want them to feel like there is someone in this world fighting for them and fighting for their stories and their right to live safely and be who they are. Like so many who are marginalized based on race, gender, and sexuality, George M. Johnson asks only to be allowed to live as his true self. To learn more about Johnson's struggles to be accepted and to accept himself, read All Boys Aren't Blue.
Wow. Important book to be read, and it's going to cross a lot of different lines of people
Yes.
needing to really let themselves be themselves. Yeah.
And other people need to let them be themselves, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Nancy, thank you. Next up is Ruma from Sunland-Tujunga, and she's going to speak about Hole in the Middle by Kendra Fortmeyer.
By Kendra Fortmeyer. Hole in the Middle is the story of a girl who is anything but normal. She confronts a world obsessed with bodily image and celebrity. Morgan Stone, 16, was born with a hole, sealed, fist-sized chunk of nothing near her belly button. Morgan's celebrity fitness mother was trying to cover her secret from the world, but Morgan was tired of hiding. After 17 years of hiding behind lumpy sweaters and smart attitude, she was fed up with keeping her secret. So she uploaded a few of her self photos to social media. That created a media frenzy overnight. Morgan became a hashtag whole girl. Now Morgan is an internet sensation, her body public property. However, she was scrutinized from every angle, the whole, the object of obscene jokes. She was more and more isolated from friends. Now Morgan is desperate to return to her own strange version of normal. She heads to a local dance media club with a fake ID, where on the dance floor, wearing a belly shirt, and showed her secret hole to the world. Now she is feeling free. No more secrecy. Then one of her doctors introduces her to a new friend, Howie. Howie was born with a lump of skin. That's the hole's perfect match. So, doctor thought genetic research on the two of them will lead to the possibility of gene therapy that might close the hole. Will it be possible to erase Morgan's scar from her mind? Kendra Fortmeyer's presentation is more than a whole. It is an empowering read about bodily secret and one young woman's fight to keep control of hers. I love the book. I believe that teenagers actually need to read. There are many lessons which may be learned. For example, how his mother transmits wisdom on how to be a good person. Another example to be learned is to stop hating yourself for what you are not and is loving yourself what you are. Then you will allow your beauty to shine through. Thank you.
Thanks, Ruma. Excellent. Next up, Emily Appleton from North Hollywood branch, and she's going to talk about Girls Like Me by Lola St. Ville.
There we go. Hi. So I am here to talk about Girls Like Me by the Haitian American author Lola St. Ville. So before I get started talking, I'm going to give a warning. This book does have mature content in it, so it's for high school students, a little bit more mature students. Girls Like Me is about Shay. She's overweight. Her mom left her when she was young, and her dad recently died tragically in a car accident. She doesn't know how to manage her feelings other than to eat, and she has low self-esteem. This is compounded by the fact that she's bullied at school about her weight. She feels very isolated and alone. Eventually, she meets a boy at school through an anonymous chat, and she has to contend with bullies who don't think a girl like her deserves happiness or love. I'm not going to go further into the love story aspect of it because I don't want to spoil it, and it's a kind of a very sweet love story, but that's the general idea. The book's very raw and emotional. It deals with how women and girls of size are treated. There's also some really emotional subplots involving a gay teen with a homophobic father and a teen dying of cancer, and their relationships to their bodies and the world around them complement and mirror Shay's experience with her own body. What I like most about this book is the format. If you like books in verse, like anything by Ellen Hopkins or The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, this is perfect for you. It's written in a mix of poetry and text logs. So it's a quick read, but it's also very evocative as well. So I'm going to show a couple examples. You can see there's text logs as well as poetry. And so the way that the words appear on the page actually emphasize the emotions behind it. So I think this is just a really great book for anybody who can relate to feeling bullied or different because of their body, or has a negative relationship with their body, and anybody who wants to read a sweet love story as well.
Wow. That's another one that's jam-packed. Gee.
Yeah.
Is there a little piece that you can read to us? I should have prepared you for this.
Oh, goodness. I didn't pick one.
Okay.
I am not good at I'm not a poetry
reciter.
What I can't think of the term, but yeah, it's just really cool.
You have it.
You know, with fonts and different things on the page.
Wow.
Yeah.
So visually as well. Thanks a lot, Emily. Very cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
So we have another Emily coming up, Emily Meehan from Palms-Rancho, and she's going to be talking about Maybe He Just Likes You by Barbara D.
Yes. All right. So my body positivity book, as Marcia said, is Maybe He Just Likes You by Barbara D. So our main character, Mila, has just started 7th grade when it starts. And at first, it's just an overly long hug, then another awkward hug, then it's a comment. And Mila's friends think that she's overreacting by feeling uncomfortable about all of this, because the boys that are doing this, they're just flirting with her, and she should feel grateful for receiving this attention, right? But then the hugs turn to grabs or other unwanted touching, and then obscene comments about Mila's body. And Mila feels powerless because no one seems to take her concerns seriously. She doesn't feel safe at school anymore. But then Mila joins a karate class that gives her a major boost of self-confidence. And through some unexpected allies, she learns that what she's experiencing, which is harassment, is not okay. So the book is body positive because Mila goes into 7th grade feeling really good about herself. She feels relatively normal. She's never really given her looks a second thought. She feels pretty comfortable in her own skin. But as she begins to experience harassment from the boys in her school, she starts to wonder if something is wrong with her. And she feels very self-conscious about her body, so much so that she deliberately starts to pick clothes that hide herself. But in Mila's new karate class, her teacher covers self-defense and saying like a hard no when she senses Mila needs some help. So Mila eventually learns that her body is strong and is not for others to judge or make comments about. And I absolutely love this book. It is written for a middle grade audience, but I think everyone could enjoy it because I really did. And I wish I had this book when I was in middle school. It's a really quick read. It is full of girl power. And I think it should be in every classroom because it shows all readers what, quote unquote, meaningless words and gestures, aka harassment, could do to individuals, but it also shows that if you are the victim of harassment, that you are not alone and you do not have to take it. So that is Maybe He Just Likes You by Barbara D.
Yeah, I'm getting a feeling with a lot of these presentations, and maybe this one in particular, that it's not just the person who's the target or the one suffering from some of this bullying that needs to read it, but really some people just don't realize possibly that they are bullying or
exactly. Yeah, I wish this book, it seems to be written for mostly like the middle school girl audience, but I think boys could also read it as well to know, hey, these comments that you think are, not nothing, are really having an effect. So yeah, it's a great book.
Excellent. Thanks, Emily. Excellent. Next up, Danica Sheridan from Silver Lake, and she's going to be talking about Cursed by Carol Ruth Silverstein.
Well, I loved this book. The protagonist, Ricky, is pissed. The disaster, formerly known as her parents, are divorcing. She has to take 9th grade in middle school. And I just want to make sure that I have my sound because I can't hear myself anymore. But I will just keep going. Oh, well, so her crush doesn't even know she exists. And she has just been diagnosed with JA, juvenile arthritis, which makes every joint in her body burn with pain. Plus, it causes her knuckles to swell and makes her limp. Ugh. Well, Cursed by Carol Ruth Silverstein is a frank look at what it's like to be a normal kid going through extraordinary circumstances. Ricky is sharp, snarky, and swears a lot, but her doctor acts like she's not even there, and her classmates bully her, making jokes about her being a senior citizen and trying to trip her during lunch and before school. So Ricky just stops going to school. It's easy to lie to your parents when they're hardly paying attention. When the truancy plan stops working, however, Ricky has to suck it up and make up the classwork she's missed or risk having to repeat yet another year at Glorious Grant Middle School. Turning her life around means accepting help from the nerdy kid, rising to the challenge brought by her snotty teacher, and allowing the disaster formerly known as her parents to get to know her. Ultimately, this is what empowers Ricky. She begins to self-advocate, finds a mentor, and achieves real friendships. Cursed is an Own Voices novel and the 2020 winner of the American Library Association's Schneider Family Book Award for Teens. Full of likable characters and a plot that really moves, this was a very fun read. I highly recommend it.
Cool. It's on my list. Very nice.
You will have a lot of fun.
I'll bet. Thanks. Okay, next up is Catherine O'Connor from Los Feliz brand. She's reading My Eyes Are Up Here by Laura Zimmerman.
Hi. As you can guess by the title, the protagonist, 16-year-old Greer Walsh, has been saddled with some body positivity issues from society at large. One book blurb sums up the storyline as a girl finding her way out of her oversized sweatshirt and back into the real world. Greer's mother is a relocation specialist who takes Greer to meet a new family. This new family includes a young man named Jackson Oates, who is a very charismatic and nice young man. Throughout the book, there's a series of flashbacks where we can see how Greer, a very empathetic, nerdy, mathematical whiz, gets kind of drained into being a beneath the radar type of a teen. In a distracted conversation with Jackson, she unwittingly signs up for the tryouts for the volleyball team at school, and to her immense surprise, she goes ahead and is accepted. With the help of her new teammates and a couple of adults, she's able to navigate the minefield of unkind classmates, clueless parents, ill-fitting clothing, and of course a fraught relationship with Jackson. I highly recommend this book. It's a lot of fun. It's very fresh and honest, and everybody's got body positivity issues, and this is just a wonderful, fast read on it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't give it away because I'm reading it right now. Okay. Yeah, excellent book, and it's issues that I had when I was her age as well. I'm feeling it for her. Yeah, really well written as well.
Yeah, very, very sweet too on the end of it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right, next up, Kelli Lowers from Studio City, and she's going to be talking about Eat and Love Yourself by Sweeney Boo.
Suggest Eat and Love Yourself by Sweeney Boo. Eat and Love Yourself is a graphic novel that discusses body dysmorphia and bulimia. Mindy is a 27-year-old barista who can't seem to live her life fully due to her low self-esteem issues. She doesn't have the self-esteem or confidence to go back to school, to try and get a better job, to enjoy nights with her friends, or even to go on dates. She's constantly thinking the worst about herself and how others view her. She doesn't like how much she weighs, and she automatically assumes that her weight is all people see. These thoughts and the negative comments that she believes she hears trigger her bulimia. Well, one night she buys a chocolate bar called Eat and Love Yourself. Each bite of the bar takes Mindy to a moment in her past that showcases something that affected her eating disorder and body dysmorphia. From the times that she was bullied by classmates, to her parents' passive-aggressive comments regarding her weight and self-worth. Throughout these moments, Mindy is able to reflect on the root causes of her eating disorder and self-esteem issues. One of the parts I really liked about this book actually was her going through all those kind of different past experiences and seeing them in a whole new light now that she's lived it, but now she's seeing it again. I really liked the part where she actually goes, when she was younger, she went to a therapist, and the therapist talked about body dysmorphia and what causes it, what triggers these things, but then also how to move past it and actually seek help. As a teenager, she obviously didn't listen to him, but now going back to that scene and as an adult, it does affect her and allows her to see beyond of what could be and getting past this. So I really enjoyed it. I thought the artwork was just fantastic. I'll even show you some. It's a good use of colors. I love the drawings. And it is a quick read, but it does pack a lot of emotion and self-awareness. I really love that it drives on the fact that you are the most important person for you. So I highly recommend this.
Nice, nice. And that's actually a good summation for all of these books, right? To really take hold of your life. You are the one living it. It's your one life. Yeah. Yes. Very cool. I just wanted to mention also that there's a book called Every Body Looking, and it again is a wonderful body positivity book. It just took, it's written by Candace Elo, and it just took the Prince Honor Award for just today, when the American Library Association gave the honors out. So one more book to put on the list as well. Now for next month, which the Teen Book Bites is actually going to be about Black Lives Matter, and it's going to be on February 22nd, same channel, same place at 3 o'clock. So Also, join us every Tuesday at 4 o'clock for Teen-tastic Tuesdays. Each week they offer a different teen-focused program. So check out our calendar of events on lapl.org and see what's coming up next. Tomorrow's program is about virtual reality and social justice. So the team behind Virtual Reality Experience will talk to us about their experiences creating their In Protest series for Oculus TV. In the meantime, see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock, or see you next month at 3 o'clock on February 22nd, but we will see you. Thank you, everybody.